Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Archangel Ministries. I'm going to try and make this to be a quick one. Just a few updates, a couple things that everybody needs to keep an eye out on. Uh, Alright, so you know what? Let's go ahead and dig in real quick. Go ahead and pull this up. Alright, for all you guys that aren't watching what's going on with the supply chain, you know, we're having some supply chain issues naturally. I mean, even here where I live, even though it's a hub, our stores are only partially stocked. We still have problems getting specific types of meat like salmon or uh, certain types of vegetables, things of that nature. And that's with us being right next to Arkansas and West Tennessee and Missouri and all that, where all the farmland is, and we're still having some supply issues here. And, just like this story states, DC asked shoppers to start rationing food, and DC is not the only place I've heard of this happening at. We have several other places around the U.S. that are having that same issue right now. I get photos and stuff sent to me every day where the store shelves are empty, just completely empty. Nothing there, nothing to be had. And this does not bode well, especially for major cities like a city the size of DC, for example. As dicey as DC already is, this is a major issue. I mean, how long before food riots start? How long before the gangs and stuff start kicking in people's doors just to take what they have? This is not good. It does not bode well. I mean, anyone who's been keeping an eye on these things, I mean, look at this. Look at these photos right here. This is bad. Absolutely empty. And there's been days where I've gone into our Kroger, and our Kroger here, as close as we are to all the farmland and everything, looks almost as sparse as this. I mean, and you can think economic policies and everything else under Biden and everything else, for all this stuff that's happening. However, there's other things we have to also keep an eye on. For example, I can't find a good story about it, but I had a buddy tip me off today that a Chinese spy was arrested by MI5. Sorry about that. But a Chinese spy was actually arrested by MI5 yesterday or today for bribing and paying off certain politicians and stuff. And if it's happening over there, you know full well that it's happening over here. I mean, Pelosi would be a prime example. How long was she riding around and helping out with a Chinese spy in her administrative office? And we have several other politicians that have been accused of the same thing. But here in America, they don't care because Biden and all them, seem to be on China's payroll. We know that they're on the Ukrainian payroll, which is the only reason why we're seeing all the political action stuff taking place in Ukraine. And speaking of which, that is not good. As a matter of fact, Biden sent a letter, not even an actual meeting, a sit down with Putin or anything else to discuss what's going on over in Ukraine right now, but they sent a letter, and one of the Russian generals was actually quoted as saying that America is pushing us into war. I mean, I'm no advocate for Russia or anything else, but there's certain policies and stuff that could be enacted to avoid this war, and it seems like we're actively being pushed towards it as opposed to the opposite direction. This is what they want. And to add on to that, you have to compound what else is going on. I believe that they know full well that their what policies are failing for the juice they want to stick in you and everything else. So they're creating other things. The question is, just like this particular instance right here, Daily Mail, driver who stopped to help the truck carrying 100 lab monkeys crashed in Pennsylvania and put her hand into one of the cages says she now has a cough and pink eye after one of them hissed in her face. We don't know what those lab monkeys were being tested on or had been tested on them. rather to say. Sorry about that. Uh, we don't know. Is it a form of COVID? Maybe. Is it the strain of Ebola slash smallpox that they've been trying out as a bioweapon? That's a possibility too. Most people don't understand what the method for eradicating Ebola actually is per U.S. military. Let's say if there was an outbreak of viral Ebola that emerged in a major city, let's say Orlando, Florida. And let's say that this particular strain of Ebola can be spread by air, not touch, as per usual. You know, Ebola is usually a bloodborne pathogen, but let's say this is transmissible by air. It can be carried just like a cold or a flu virus or smallpox was, right? Well, if that happens and you get a major contamination in a major city, military will be sent in with hazmat gear and whatnot, not to treat the infected or anything else. They'll basically cordon off the city and then napalm it. It'll be incinerated. It's an old practice. You actually saw the Soviets and stuff do this in Africa on a few occasions while they were testing bioweapons and stuff out there. One day there's a thriving village. Next day the village gets sick. Then once they've lost control of it, soon after that, the village is cordoned off and napalmed. And they incinerate everything that's in there. Now, I'm not telling you this to spread fear or anything, but as far as I know, that's still kind of the go-to plan. But I could be wrong. Things could have changed in the last few years that I'm unaware of. It's a possibility. However, it is something to keep in the back of your mind. So we need to make sure we are good on medical supplies. We need to make sure we're good on food. And by medical supplies, I also mean colloidal silver. It was a thing buried a few years back, but if you guys remember the Ebola outbreak that happened with Barack Obama during his presidency in Africa, it was a very underreported thing, but they were actually showing improvements in people and good positive results from dosing those people with high volumes of colloidal silver. Now look, I'm not a doctor. I cannot confirm nor deny the research that was done there because a lot of it has been buried. However, that wouldn't surprise me, as well as colloidal silver works in isolating viral strains and helping your body to remove them from the system. I know that Janice and I both used it when we had the COVID, when it first broke out a couple years ago, and we had great success with it. So it's never a bad thing to have in your pantry. And I would try and keep a decent amount on hand for however many people you have in your household. Now, going back to Russia and what's going on over there, Russia's gearing up for war. They have over 100,000 troops amassed on the Ukrainian border, and they're practically being surrounded right now. And this is dangerous for America in a twofold way. One, we don't have enough troops on the ground to really even spit in the face or, you know, really even get in a tickle fight with Russia over that kind of troops being amassed. We just don't have it. I've got a buddy that's been over in Poland with the 101st, you know, the tank unit, modern cavalry and stuff over there, and I haven't been able to reach out to him just yet, but I'm hoping I'll hear from him in the next few days, and maybe he can give me some more insight on what's actually going on the ground. But nonetheless, this is an issue, something that we have to keep an eye on, because we also have China beginning to move in on Taiwan, and they just had their fleet and stuff deployed, and not to mention Russia's deployment of their fleet and stuff in the Black Sea. But from all the intel and stuff I'm getting, all the people that are hitting me up, it's my understanding that China is not only focused on Taiwan, but they're also steadily, slowly surrounding Japan as well, which mounts for a dangerous situation. If you actually take a close look at all the political ties and everything that's going on behind the scenes, NATO is going to be disintegrated. There's only going to be a few people left that are actually going to hold true to NATO. Germany will back Russia. France will back Russia. Simply because they are dependent on Russia's natural gas lines to keep their people, you know, fed and warm during these winter months, which is a lot of the reason why I think you're seeing this happen now, because Russia has the most leverage at this point in time. If it was waiting till like summer or even spring for that matter, they wouldn't have the amount of leverage as they do right now. Simply because people would try and find bypasses and try and find a way around it. Like just like Biden was promising the people in Europe the other day that if Russia doesn't come to the table, that somehow America is going to supply those nations with natural gas. How is that going to happen? Honestly, you don't have the logistics to keep food and stuff going for your own people in America and keep us energy dependent, which was by design. You purposely destructed our chance at energy independence just to go play patty cake with your Saudi homeboys in Ukraine at the cost of the American people. So what makes you think for one split second, what makes our allies think for one split second that America's going to come through and provide them with natural gas and fuel and resources? This is one of the most obscene, stupid things I've ever heard. All right. Now, having said that, this is one of the reasons why Ukraine and stuff is in the hot seat. America's in the hot seat. And we have this event that took place here pretty recently. So let's take a look here. You guys might have seen this already, but a Russian super sub was spotted off a U.S. coastline.
Russian nuclear submarine of the Bore project, which carries 16 Bulava ballistic missiles on board, unexpectedly appeared off the coast of the United States, having caused serious concerns in Washington. Each of the missiles in service with the submarine is capable of carrying up to 10 nuclear warheads. The incident created an extremely serious danger for the United States, given that the US military have not been able to track the Russian nuclear submarine. The nuclear-powered submarine approached the US coast unnoticed. It was possible to establish the location of the nuclear submarine with up to 160 nuclear warheads on board after the submarine started going back to the base. A submarine of this class is capable of destroying most of the territory of the United States of America in minutes. Russian nuclear submarines will be able to constantly patrol the waters near the US coast in the event that Russia decides to build a naval base in Cuba or Venezuela, as representatives for the Russian Foreign Ministry earlier said.
China wants to beat America.
Okay. Russia's not playing games. I don't know how to really elaborate that point any stronger. Guys, this is not good. It's simply not good at all. Could this be a form of saber rattling? Yes, but it could also be a form of pre-positioning for a nuclear strike. I was given a vision some years ago about what was going to take place in America, and in this vision I saw the East Coast. The East Coast was bombarded, not entirely by nukes, but it was a combination. There were a couple of decent-sized nukes that were used to hit major cities like New York and what was the name of that other town? I think it was in the Carolinas, but there were a couple of large nukes that was used to target people like that, and then there were some minor tactical type nukes that have a smaller footprint that were used up and down the coastline, and then if memory serves right, there was an orchestrated nuclear power plant failure that happened in Florida that, took a major toll at the same time that was linked to Grey Terror, or Russian terror, so to speak. Now look, you guys, I know we take dreams and visions with a grain of salt because things can manipulate your mind that you aren't anticipating, and this much I get. However, I trust what the Lord has shown me, and I have a feeling that we're about to see these things come to fruition. Now, I don't want to go out on a limb and say, hey, this is guaranteed, I know this is going to happen, or that monkey had Ebola, and I know this for a fact, because simple fact of the matter is I don't. Alright? The simple truth of the matter is I've been caught off guard by stuff like this before, because I had all these dreams and visions, several of them while Obama was in office, and with stuff that happened on the Bundy Ranch, and everything that was going on in Ukraine then, I could have swore that was going to be the time that it happened. Now, fortunately, it all dissipated and all got kind of pushed back to the back burner, which was good. So having learned from that lesson previously, I don't want to go out on a limb and say, hey, this is a fact, this is all going to happen, simply because I don't know for a fact that it is. All right? I haven't received any positive confirmation from the Lord just yet. That doesn't mean that someone out there has not, but I personally have not. And until I do, I'm not going to go out on a limb and run my mouth saying, thus says the Lord, because that would be, stupid, foolish, and inappropriate. Very inappropriate. So, having said that, guys, these are the things to look out for, things to go ahead and make sure, if you can, stock up your pantry as much as you can while you can. All right? Because even if Russia and China don't try and tag team us at the same time, which seems inevitable, because if I was China, I would wait until escalations went up with Russia, and then I would strike the U.S. simultaneously while I made my moves on Taiwan as well as Japan. That's the way I would do it. However, having stated that, the best thing to do now is seek the Lord with all your heart, make what preparations you can, and prepare for what could come. I'm not going to say what is coming because we don't know as of yet. Or at least I don't. Someone out there might. But we need to make certain preparations to get our house in order and upright before the Lord. Which brings me to my next topic. Okay. You guys been wanting updates and stuff like that. I am working on a book. Still playing with the title, but right now the name of the book, it will be Rise a Knight. And the entire purpose of this book is to prepare Christians to face what's coming. And it's going to be split up into three subject categories: mind, body, and spirit. And it is going to focus on how to heal, first off, how to heal the mind and find healing in the Lord from trauma. Because if you are triggered by your emotions, and then you can't think logically or rationally, and if you can't think logically or rationally, you can't really face the hardships and trouble that is actually coming. All right? You'll be carried off with your emotions, and emotions make you do stupid things. So we're going to focus on that, and there's also going to be an extensive bit in the part on the mind, and in this book in general, that is going to be dealing with dissociative identity disorder and trauma-based injuries and how to heal from it. And for people like me, that also includes multiple personalities. This is not written from any reading or studies or any friends of mine in the field of psychiatry or psychology. No, rather this is based 100% on what God has revealed to me, my own knowledge and my own experience. And this is something the Lord has placed on my heart. And having said that, I will be attempting to bypass the troubles with actually getting this book direct published by like Amazon and printed for people to buy. I will eventually do that if we start seeing some stability as far as the market goes and the supply chain with paper and ink and things of that nature. But I'm not holding my breath on it. So my plan is to try and build a website that people can go do a subscriber thing. I'm not even going to do anything crazy. It'll be like, I don't know, $2 a month. Something small. Because I want everybody to be able to get a hold of this as it comes out. And the way that I want to do this is to have the website built, and every time I finish a chapter or a section in the book, it will be directly posted and you guys can read it. And then I'll be recording videos and stuff to post along with it that shows you the techniques and stuff that I've been able to use and really illustrate everything that is written about. Okay? And this isn't just going to cover only healing of the mind, spirit, and the body. I will also be getting into combative techniques, how to properly clear a house, firearms manipulation, certain types of hand-to-hand combat, and things of that nature. But that's a little bit further down the road. Right now, the introduction to the book is finished. The introduction to combat is finished. And I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through with the chapter on the mind. I've already started on the body and the spirit as well. But my main focus is mind and spirit for healing purposes, because once the mind is healed, the spirit is healed, and they're united in one, the body will follow. So this is the way that I'm looking at that. I do have a few friends helping as far as the editing process and stuff goes. But if any of you guys are good at building websites, then I could use some help, because I am not the most tech-savvy person in the world, believe it or not. No, I'm definitely not. As a matter of fact, I'm the guy, I would much rather be the guy that kicks in the door and slaps the bad guys around rather than running tech. So, if any of you guys out there have any ideas or are good at building websites, I would appreciate some help. Whether directly or indirectly, either or. I just know that I'm going to need some assistance with getting this set up and getting the ball rolling on it, because with the way things are going, I feel that this is a pressing matter and that it is much needed. So I would much rather do it this way and have it out soon rather than waiting and miss the mark because I waited too long. There are too many people that need healing and need to learn what the Lord has put on my heart. So this is of the utmost importance. And a quick update, Halo he's not, well, how do I put it? Prayed over him, and the Lord revealed to me that there was a demon attached to a curse that had been sent against him. So the demon has been cast away, and I believe this unclean spirit was preventing Halo's healing. So it has been cast away and sent far away, never to return, and the curse has been come against. But any help from you guys in praying for his safety and his protection from the covens and praying for his healing is much appreciated, because he's still not 100%. I can tell that there's still something there on the inside that is pressing on his colon, because his fecal matter is not coming out, circular and round as it should be. It's kind of flat, which means that he still has something in there that is causing a blockage and he needs help. Now, I have him on a herbal regimen and a clean diet that I cook and prepare myself, that is aimed at helping his digestive tract and keeping his stool and stuff soft so that he can pass it on a regular basis. But the doctors are wanting me to have him go through a CT scan, and it's kind of a pre-prep for like surgery type stuff. I don't know if I can put him through surgery, to be honest. And I understand what they want. Of course, with if we can come up with the money for the CT scan, which unfortunately those aren't cheap. I wish they were, but they're not. So, having said that, the GoFundMe is still up. No one's really donated to it in a while, which I get. With everything going on, I don't expect people to be able to just give money, which is fine, But if anybody can, a little help here and there is nice, because this is a pretty big financial burden that is on us right now. And I would do anything to help Halo and get him back to 100%. So I have no intentions of giving up this fight. So, having said that, prayers are appreciated. If anyone has any extra finances to help, that's great. That's awesome. It's appreciated. I know I've dropped the ball on the new t-shirt designs. I have the designs done, but I have not had time to really upload them and get them on the Teespring store like I want. And Teespring has a bad habit of trying to remove my designs. They keep claiming that they're pirated when they're not. I don't see how you can pirate something that you've personally created yourself, but, just another form of tyranny. Another tech company, what do you expect? Is what it is. It's all good. You get it worked out one way or the other. But hopefully I'll have those up in the next couple of days. I'm going to try my very best at least. Let's see here. Am I missing anything else? Oh, yeah. I'm working on videos for firearms training and some product reviews. As a matter of fact, we'll be doing a product review on this bad boy here pretty soon. This is a Canik Elite Combat with a compensator that is made by 45blast.com. Made in America. We're going to see how it does. I want to see how durable this thing is. I'm going to put it through the torture test and see what happens. Alright. So having said that, guys, that's it for me. I'm out. We're going to call this a day. And I will see you guys later.